Going the distance for local sports. This is X Sports Today.
Gifts and goodies galore await you at Miss Millie's in downtown Lawrenceburg. From brands you know and love, like E. Newton Jewelry and Tyler Diva Wash, to unique specialty gifts, you will find it all here. Whether you're looking for the perfect gift for someone you love or shopping for yourself, shopping local is the way to go. We have home goods, women's fashion and accessories, baby items, and lots of seasonal decorations. Our friendly staff will welcome you in, help you find what you need, and even package your gifts for you. Also, we can't forget to tell you about our popular bridal registry. Future brides can come and create their perfect registry with us. So stop by Miss Millie's today. We're located in the northeast corner of the square in downtown Lawrenceburg.
State Line Garage Doors, owned and operated by Justin Gobble, is your trusted local expert in garage door services. Based in Lawrence County, Tennessee, State Line Garage Doors is built on over a decade of hands-on experience, providing reliable repairs, replacements, and installations for all types of garage doors, residential and commercial. They proudly serve our community and the surrounding areas. When you work with State Line Garage Doors, you're not just another job, you're part of our community. Their commitment to quality, transparency, and craftsmanship is at the heart of what they do, and they offer free estimates. State Line Garage Doors. Reach out to discover the difference a company with local roots can make for your home and business.
Got primary care? Find your way to better health with primary care by One Stop Medical. With decades of combined experience, you'll find a one-on-one relationship just like the old days, but with the convenience and technology of today. When One Stop Medical does primary care, it's the best. Call today for an appointment and find your way to healthy living. Serving Lawrenceburg, Pulaski, and Hohenwald. Phone 931-244-8220. Primary care by One Stop Medical at its best.
Want to take the next steps in taking care of your health? Tennessee Valley Allergy Services can make your goals a reality. Their team of doctors, nurses, and medical professionals are dedicated to providing allergy care and treatment, such as drops and shots, to fit your exact needs. Their expert services are for anyone ages 2 and older. Whether you struggle with environmental or food allergies, they've got you covered. Discover a better you at Tennessee Valley Allergy Services, located right next to the Zaxby's in Lawrenceburg. Book online or call 931-325-0757 to schedule your appointment today.
Since 1955, Evers Construction has been the company folks have trusted for residential and commercial construction projects. Today, Evers is still the leader in building and is just as committed to maintaining. From residential to commercial and industrial, Evers' team of experts stands ready to install, service, and repair all your HVAC and plumbing needs. Specializing in leak repair, maintenance, air duct cleaning and repair, air handler service, drain cleaning, gas line work, emergency unit repair, inspections, and more. Evers Construction offers a preventative maintenance package to keep your home or business cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Trained, trusted, reliable. For more information or to schedule an appointment with the pros who know, phone 931-762-3593 or visit eversconstructionco.com. Evers Construction Company in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee.
Going the distance for local sports. This is X Sports Today.
And welcome everybody to X Sports Today. Full crew back here today. I'm AJ Good, Taylor Plott, Michael Marks, and Hayden Burks joining us, guys. And good to be inside on a day like today. For some reason, it's the first week of high school, first day of official high school football and volleyball practices, and this guy decided to make it the hottest day of the year.
Just wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, not really looking forward to that, but it is hot out there, and I hope all of the teams, we got basically evening practices smartly this week, so everyone heading out to your practice, be safe, hydrate, do all the smart things that we didn't do in the 90s and early 2000s, so take care of yourselves, take care of your bodies out there. But let's get right into it, guys. I don't want to say Major League Baseball has a gambling problem, but I think the Cleveland Guardians pitching staff has a gambling problem. According to ESPN's Jeff Passan, Cleveland Guardians closer Manuel, is it Clase or Clase? I thought it was Clase. On Monday was placed on non-disciplinary paid leave through August 31st as part of Major League Baseball's investigation into sports gambling, the second Guardians pitcher to be caught up in the inquiry. Guardians right-hander Luis Ortiz, formerly on my fantasy team, remains on non-disciplinary leave after originally being placed there July 3rd after unusual gambling activity on 2 pitches he threw for balls, sources told ESPN. Ortiz's leave was later extended to August 31st. Statement, the Guardians said no additional players or club personnel expected to be impacted. Clase, 27, a 3-time All-Star, 2-time winner of the Rivera Award for the best relief pitcher in the American League, finished 3rd in the Cy Young voting last year. He posted a .61 ERA over 74 1/3 innings. Through 47 1/3 innings this year, he has a 3.23 ERA, has already allowed more hits this year than he did last, while striking out 47 to walking 12. The investigation is tied to some pitches that he has thrown over the last few weeks, mainly on 0-0 counts, nobody on. They're investigating a lot of these kind of side bets on certain pitches thrown in certain counts. Not necessarily, obviously, these first pitch in the dirt isn't going to affect a game overall. If God just
right, it's not going to impact the game.
A pitch in the dirt with nobody on base. I mean,
and I saw someone post a video on X on some of the pitches that are being investigated. Like he's had 22 0-0 counts, nobody on, no matter what the outs are. He's had 22 first pitches, and 11 of them were deemed incompetable, or there's a word in there I'm kind of forgetting, like basically nowhere within 3 feet of the zone,
right?
And all of them are like spiking it, like hitting it in the grass, not in the dirt. Some of them are way inside, way outside, like not even competitive,
non-competitive. It's
the word I was looking for.
He's throwing them that are just like he's doing it on purpose, and so and obviously I'm not much of a betting person, but I know that at least I would say probably over the last 10 years or so, you're getting more of these so-called side bets where it's like, how many pitches is it going to take for him to like throw one into the dirt or something? Like, you get all that stuff. So I'm with you when you said you don't know if it's the MLB that has a gambling problem. It looks just like it's, at least for this guy, or maybe the Cleveland Indians or the Guardians, but it does make you wonder who else might be doing these, because it's not like you're throwing the game to make a bet. You're doing the so-called side bets. So I guess you might think that it's a little easier to so-called get away with it because it's not going to be as eye-opening. But I honestly don't know what to think of this, because obviously they still are investigating, but it does look very suspicious that these pitches are way out of zone, spiking in the grass.
He was throwing it like 40 feet.
And that's the thing. Like Clase is not a big control guy because he's throwing sinkers and cutters in the hundreds of miles an hour, but missing out by that much is definitely a bit telling.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, if this is an issue and there are side bets that he's trying to do and everything, he needs to be caught and he needs to be disciplined for it. But it does, at least in my eyes, kind of opens up the idea of who else is doing these. Is someone doing them where it's not as obvious?
And what are the situations in which they're doing? Like this one, he picked a pretty innocuous 0-0, nobody on. It's not like he's doing this with the bases loaded. So he's trying to
not let it impact the game.
Manipulate it.
Exactly. Like he's not trying to straight up manipulate it where, he's doing these little, which I didn't know that betting on first pitch 0-0, nobody
was a thing.
Yep. But apparently it is if they're investigating him and Ortiz.
Well, I'm just really confused as to why the Guardians are the team they're picking on with this, because you could probably go into all 30 clubhouses and find. Because remember a year and a half ago when the Shohei Ohtani thing came out with his gambling thing, and that one was
his interpreters.
Yes, his interpreters gambling thing, where there was 6- and 7-figure money moves being made, and that one was open and closed in 24 hours, and nothing came from it. And now we see that pretty much the Guardians' entire pitching staff is getting picked on now. So it's just a little strange, but we could have a much bigger gambling problem going on.
Yeah, and I'm with you, Taylor. I think it's obviously this is the main situation right now, but I honestly go to there's got to be more than one pinpoint. It's like a chart that's where a pinpoint from here over here goes to there and just all over. So I mean, I'm with you. I don't know if it's MLB. It might be just a Cleveland Guardians organization right now, or their pitching staff. But then again, this could be bigger than just one pitching staff or one organization.
And I'll say this again: if just putting myself in a position to where if I wanted to do that, if I was a pitcher or a batter or whoever that was wanting to manipulate the gambling to take advantage of it and profit from it, I would be doing those side bets because it's you're not going to be impacting the game. 0-0 count. What's the pitch going to be? Is it going to be in the dirt or whatnot? That's going to be in the dirt. How much you can put on it? This much. All right. Well, then I'll throw a pitch in the dirt. It's going to be something like that.
And it wasn't just it's not just that he's doing this. It's that people are noticing large amounts of sums of money being put on. Like Vegas alerts to this.
Yeah.
And the people in charge of this alert to this. So it isn't like Major League Baseball. Like, man, he threw a pitch was supposed to go 60 feet 6 inches for 45 feet, but when you look at what he did and then you look at the large amounts of money being bet on it, that's what tipped everybody off.
It's red flag.
Well, that's the thing. Like, why is any normal person going to put? I don't know exactly what the sums were, but let's just say 10,000 on a pitch in the dirt at this scenario. That looks weird.
Yeah.
Especially because I don't know how specific these placement bets are, these little side bets are. If it's just in the game or if it's just in this inning, what it could be. But I mean, gambling is probably the hardest thing in the world to get away with. And if you're a professional athlete, you're not supposed to gamble. You're not allowed to.
Yeah.
In any facet. So I mean, they're doing it to themselves, but it's definitely a strange scenario.
Yeah.
That this whole thing is.
Yeah, speaking of scenarios, more baseball news and good, not good. I mean, well, I'll get your all's opinion on this one. Philly star Bryce Harper stood nose-to-nose with Rob Manfred during a meeting during Major League Baseball commissioners and the teams last week, telling him to get the blank out of the clubhouse if Manfred wanted to talk about the potential implementation of a salary cap. Sources told ESPN on Monday the confrontation came in a meeting, one of the 30 that Manfred conducts annually with every team, and that it lasted more than an hour. But Manfred never explicitly said the word salary cap. Sources said the discussion about the game's economics raised the ire of Harper, one of MLB's most influential players and a two-time MVP. Quiet from the majority of the meeting, Harper, sitting in a chair and holding a bat, eventually grew frustrated and said if MLB were to propose a cap and hold firm to it, the players are not scared to lose 162 games. Sources from the meeting told ESPN Harper stood up, walked to the middle of the room, faced Manfred, and said, if you want to speak about that, you can get the F out of the clubhouse. Manfred, sources said, responded that he was not going to get the F out of here. Good for you. Saying it was important to talk about the threats to MLB's business and ways to grow the game. Before the situation further intensified, veteran outfielder Nick Castellanos tried to defuse the situation, saying I have more questions. The meeting continued, and Harper and Manfred eventually shook hands, sources said. Though Harper declined to answer the phone calls from Manfred the next day. It was pretty intense, definitely passionate, Castellanos told ESPN. Both of them, the commissioner giving it back to Bryce giving it back to the commissioner. That's Harper. He's been doing this since he was 15 years old. It's just another day. I wasn't surprised. The current collective bargaining agreement expires on December 1, 2026, and it's clear the players do not want a salary cap. The owners do. Manfred, I think, is certainly leaning, because of everything else that he's done, cutting minor league teams, speeding up the game, which actually I think that's a good thing. But this even though it feels like we've just got one more season apiece, and I do not like where the game is going as of December 2026.
I totally agree. I think baseball is in it's much different than every other professional sport with the fact that it doesn't have a salary cap. I think the reason they're arguing to get one is the fact that we have teams like the Miami Marlins and the Tampa Bay Rays are spending. The Miami Marlins are spending $68 million this year in salary cap. There are teams like the Mets that are spending $332 million.
Dodgers are north of that.
Yep.
Yeah, and the Dodgers and they're deferring payments, but it's a problem because they want to put a salary floor on Major League Baseball. But the thing is, you can't do that without a salary cap, which is going to limit how much money players can make. And again, if my big boss came in here and said, "Hey, we're going to put a salary cap on, you're going to be making less money," I would be a little distraught, but. I mean, I agree. I think that we're trending towards that, and I think it probably could help baseball. For the fans' perspective, with it seems like there are only 4 or 5 teams that are able to sign all these high class free agents and players and stuff like that. So it's definitely an interesting situation going forward with what we're going to be seeing in the future of baseball. But because one thing I'm thinking of with making the players mad about this is we could be looking at a lockout in 2027.
And that's kind of where my thought process goes to. I've always felt, and this is where you think of everyday society, where if you have a multi-billion-dollar company, you don't bat an eye when they can hire someone and pay them $15 million a year. Mm-hmm. They bring in $15 billion a year. Yep. So I mean, what's the deal? But then you look at it from a sports perspective, and then it makes some more sense to why you would want to have that salary cap, because you end up getting these teams like the Dodgers, the Yankees. You had it for the Red Sox for a little bit, and then they started trading away, and people retired, and they kind of fell off a little bit. But you end up almost creating a sports monopoly in a way to where always the Dodgers. Yeah, they might make it to the World Series, they might not, but they're always winning 110 games a year. They're always making it to the playoffs, at least making it to the championship series. And the fans from these other teams start to get kind of tired from it. And then you look at the roster, and it's like Ohtani's getting, like, I'm throwing a number out there, $30 million.
It's more than that.
It's more than that, I know. I'm just throwing the number, yeah. Freddie Freeman's getting, $80 million or whatnot. You get that stack with so many high-profile high contract players, and it kind of starts sucking away these other teams like the Miami Marlins, like the Tampa Bay Rays, like what will become the Las Vegas Athletics. Mm-hmm. And you start thinking, okay, maybe there does need to be a salary cap, because you need to start evening the playing field to an extent. But from the players' perspective, obviously I'm not shocked that Bryce Harper is the one that called Manfred,
Called him out.
Called him out, and obviously I think Manfred did the right thing with calling him back out. Hey, if he's going to dish it back. Yep. But you're going to start having issues with players because they're so used to just being able to get these $100-200 million contracts, and now you're going to be like, no, you can only max out at 120 or something like that.
Yeah, because my question is, what's that going to do to the current contracts? Because you have guys like Shohei Ohtani and Juan Soto that have contracts worth over $700 million. Yeah. And again, then you have teams that can't pay that to anybody, pay that yearly contract to anybody, because you look at the players that the Marlins and the Athletics have had over the past decade. Sure, those are teams in bad spots, but the Marlins, you have guys like Christian Yelich, Marcell Ozuna, JT Realmuto, Giancarlo Stanton, the Athletics. You got Matt Olson, Sean Murphy, Matt Chapman, guys like that they can't afford, because while that's probably some general manager, president, owner type stuff, it does raise some questions for what this could mean for the future.
If you, going off of that, if you had a salary cap, let's say it was 2010. We'll go back 2010. I say that was first year that they implemented the salary cap. Think about what some of those teams might look like now.
Yeah,
you might still have Giancarlo Stanton on the Marlins. Ozuna might be on the Marlins still. Marlins might be going for Yelich. Miami Marlins might be going for 3 straight division titles in the NL East. Flip over to the Athletics. Matt Olson. You had Sean Murphy, like you mentioned. Obviously, both now on the Braves. Who's to say the Athletics couldn't have won the AL West for several straight years? You put that salary cap, all of a sudden, those other teams that have had very good talent are able to retain that talent. And from a fan perspective, I feel like that would help the game, because then you start having, you don't have your typical bottom feeders year in and year out. But on the same side, you have to deal with the players, and I can see this is obviously a point of tension, and who's to say, Hayden, that this ends up being a lockout potentially?
I mean, that's my biggest fear. I mean, overall, you look at this, the landscape where the MLB is, you look at how the players are kind of fighting against the ownership wanting to have salary caps. I mean, I get it, I'm with y'all. You know, I would like to not see, especially from a Braves fan, the Dodgers being in the pennant every year, being always competitive and stealing the best players from every team and paying them, you know, ungodly amount of money. But I mean, you just look at overall, I get it as a player standpoint. I won't be able to make my money and not have to worry about a salary cap. And ownership, I get it too, where you want to be able to be competitive, like the bottom feeders, like, you know, the A's and the Marlins or teams something like that. But you know, just my biggest fear is the lockout, and I think we could be seeing one within the end of 2026 going into 2027.
You have it to where,
and we got really close to having one. I think it was 2 years ago,
3
years
it
ago.
was.
I mean,
the last time.
Yeah, and that was the spring training got cut short. The season almost started late. It was. This isn't something we're unfamiliar with, and obviously everybody at least the next generation thinks of the lockout '95.
Yep.
And I know how many baseball fans that kind of turned off the game from them. But it makes baseball fans, me included, because I'm not a fan of the Dodgers, mad that every time there's let's throw Paul Skeens in there for because he's a guy that people think that might get traded pretty soon because they can't afford Pittsburgh probably won't pay him. The Dodgers will take him.
Yeah.
The Mets will take him.
Yankees
will take him. But there's like 4 teams that are up there for every good free agent coming up, and it's kind of ruined, at least for a fan of an outside team from the Dodgers and the Yankees. It kind of puts a sour taste in my mouth for where baseball is going in the future. So while I don't feel like I would like a salary cap in baseball just from the player's perspective, I think it's probably where we need to go.
Yeah, especially with just the ungodly amount of money. The thing, if we go back and go through like negotiations, we'll add 5 games.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. You know what? We'll add something to like the trade deadline. We'll move it to like the next week or something. Yeah, that's fine. We're gonna mess with your salaries. Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
You can go through other things. It's like, yeah, it's fine. But once you start,
But that's going to be in any workplace if it comes
it
to
is.
It's like, hey, you might have to work a couple more days this year. Hey, this, that, and the other. Hey, we're going to take away your salary's being cut by 5%.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because money's what makes the world turn nowadays. That's just kind of how it is.
This is going to be a big point of tension.
Yeah.
More Major League Baseball news as we close out the segment here. The Speedway Classic to break the single game attendance record. As of right now, 85,000 tickets have been sold between the Reds and Braves at Bristol Motor Speedway. Will break the single game attendance record. It was announced on Monday. It'll be on Saturday night. It'll be the first ever MLB game played in Tennessee. Okay, I never knew that. The current record paid for paid attendance is 84,587, which was set on September 12th, 1954, for a doubleheader at Cleveland Stadium between Cleveland and the New York Yankees. Fans from all 50 states, plus D.C., Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands, 9 countries across 4 continents have purchased tickets to the game. So, we're going to see a Major League Baseball record, and I've looked at the setup for this, and it looks awesome.
Yeah,
They've done a really good job.
Because once it was announced, I don't remember how long ago they announced it, but I'm thinking, huh? Because I remember when Tennessee and Virginia Tech had that game in Bristol, and if I was at that game, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it as much as I did at home, obviously, because you're trying to put a football field in the world's fastest half mile, and I think it's. With the way the setup's set up, I think it will be enjoyable for fans. And anytime there's a record broken in Major League Baseball, it's definitely something that should catch everybody's eyes because it's a sport that's close to 150, 200 years old. So I think it's going to be really cool. And I like how both of these teams, the Braves and the Reds, have kind of come together to make this. Because when you think of baseball fans, especially in Tennessee, because there's not a Major League team in Tennessee. they flock to the Reds and the Braves. So having them kind of meet in the middle in a NASCAR stadium, with the NASCAR themed uniforms and jerseys and helmets and stuff like that. I mean, I think it's great for the game of baseball, and especially with all the kind of negative things we talked about before. This is something we can kind of give Major League Baseball a round of applause on.
I think that's a good idea. The thing that always strikes me is, and I will be the first to say, I've honestly never been to a single NASCAR race.
I haven't either.
Never
as
been
big as a NASCAR fan, I haven't.
Never been to Talladega. Never been to I have been to Huntsville Speedway before, so I have seen races. And the thing that always strikes me is how massive those infields are. You're putting an entire baseball field into that, and yes, it is still these small. It's like the smallest racetrack.
Yeah.
And second smallest. Dover's the smallest, right? Martinsville.
Middle of nowhere.
And really. But it just goes to how massive those infields are. I mean, you're putting an entire baseball field there. And the thing I'm going to be interested in seeing is if they will be able to have camera shots from the actual racetrack stands, because I want to see how it looks. It looked from that perspective.
Yeah, it's. I was at the football game, one of the football games. Most people just think it was Virginia Tech and Tennessee, and actually the next weekend they had an FCS game, I believe ETSU and Western Carolina, because Western Carolina is just outside of Asheville, pretty close. And then I believe they played some high school games there that weekend too.
Oh, that was
so it was like extended.
It was the weekend after.
And imagine how cool that would have been, playing a high school game on a football field in Bristol.
So, and I've taken a car around there. I've been to Bristol, Charlotte, Daytona. I didn't go to a race there. We were a bunch of friends of us just happened to be in the area. They have a big museum. We went to the museum, the big store, and guys are actually testing cars while we were at Daytona.
Wow.
So there's one of the turns you can go up and see the whole track. And like they lift one section of the track open, one of the seating sections open, so you can go up in there. Watching that dude go by was awesome. Been to Dover as well, outside of Dover. Trying to think, Martinsville, of course. So and Atlanta. The only race I actually covered was at Atlanta, but I've taken a car around Charlotte and Bristol, which that's awesome.
I've always wanted to do that.
It's a lot of fun. But coming up next, guys, we're going to the world of some college football. We got a kissing controversy in Vegas, and plus Dion had cancer. We didn't know, but apparently he is okay. That's coming up next.
For decades, First Class Charter has provided high-quality motor coach transportation services to the Tennessee Valley. With numerous safety and cleanliness accreditations, First Class Charter is ready to make your group trip a reality. Contact us today by visiting firstclasscharter.net. First Class Charter, the official motor coach company of the North Alabama Lions.
From our humble beginnings to today, Parks Lumber Company has continuously served Lawrence and surrounding counties for over a century. Although we started as a small lumber yard in 1896, we have grown to include everything you need to make your dream project come to life. No matter your building needs, our experienced staff will be with you every step of the way to ensure you receive the highest customer service and attention to detail you deserve. Visit us at 106 2nd Street or on Facebook. We guarantee you will see working with PLC is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Pat's Cafe and Catering has been proudly serving customers in Lawrenceburg since 1987. For 4 generations, our family-run cafe has served up delicious breakfast and lunch favorites, with friendly service and a welcoming atmosphere. We also offer full-service catering and can help to make your next party or event a success. For great food and friendly faces, visit us today at Pat's Cafe and Catering.
At Florida Mid-South Realty, we pride ourselves on our family values, professional service, and a deep local knowledge. With a small town feel and a personal touch, we're here to help you navigate the real estate process with ease. Whether buying, selling, or renting, you can trust us to guide you every step of the way. And don't forget to catch Florida Rockstars, our live podcast every Tuesday morning at 8. Florida Rockstars, rocking the real estate news and all things local. Florida Mid-South Realty, your hometown real estate experts.
You know, Storing Lee Furniture is not just some huge chain store, but we do have a 144,000 square foot showroom right here in Leoma, Tennessee. The Story family has worked together in the business now for 55 years. And a familiar face is here to help you with whatever you need. That's what being a part of the community right here in the Tennessee Valley means. And if you have an issue, we're right here to take care of it. And don't forget free delivery. We invite you to come see us. We're Storing Lee Furniture.
Being raised in Tennessee, we believe in the importance of family and community. Creating a positive experience at our family-owned and operated business is one of the ways we share that belief.
Being in an accident can be extremely stressful. When it came time for my repairs, Mashburn's made it easy.
I am lucky to have a wonderful company in my community like Mashburn's Collision Center. It's reassuring to know that I'm in good hands because their work is second to none.
We pride ourselves that the Mashburn name is one of the most trusted in Lawrence County since 1981. Mashburn's Collision Center. Let our family take care of yours.
Hey guys, I'm Kyle Hammock, General Manager here at Heritage Automotive, your Chevy GMC dealer in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. I'm from Marshall County, Tennessee, where I went to Cornersville High School. I attended Cumberland University. After Cumberland, I went into the United States Marine Corps to serve the country. After that, I went right back into the car business. I'm very familiar with the car business. I have been around the car business pretty much my entire life. And my commitment to you is to ensure the most competitive new and used vehicle pricing on the market, as well as the best service around. We'll treat you like family here at Heritage Automotive in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee.
Going the distance for local sports. This is X Sports Today.
Welcome back to X Sports Today. AJ Goodwin, Taylor Plott, Michael Marks, and Hayden Burks getting into some NFL news. Out in Vegas, we got a kissing controversy. Christian Wilkins, who was released by the Las Vegas Raiders on Thursday, kissed a fellow player on the head, and the teammate took offense to it. A source told ESPN's Adam Schefter the incident was not the sole reason that Wilkins was cut. Sources said Wilkins had been recovering from a Jones fracture, which he suffered in his left foot last October. Because of how Wilkins treated the rehab from his injury, the Raiders voided the remaining $35.2 million of guaranteed money left on his contract June 4th. Sources said he was released with the designation of terminated vested veteran, sources told Schefter. Wilkins asked the Players Association to file a grievance. They did. Last week's incident happened inside a team meeting room. One source told ESPN that the interaction was playful, but the teammate didn't see it that way. It's not known what the fellow player did following the incident.
First thing I'll just say is watch who you kiss. Just watch who you kiss. There's only certain people in your life you want to kiss.
Teammates probably not.
Teammates
one
probably
of them.
not. I mean, I look, at the end of the day, you do you. I'm not diving into that, but just watch who you kiss, man.
What happens in the locker room is always the biggest issue, not just in professional, but when you're in college.
Yeah, but even back in
high school, there's been a bunch of incidents, not just professional. There's been some stuff that's happened around the state of Tennessee that's gone crazy. So I mean, just overall, it's just anything that happens in a locker room or just in a enclosed environment is always going to be something that is taken serious. That's my thing.
It's just a weird situation because we remember how good Christian Wilkins was at Clemson, and then obviously he's had his moments in the NFL where he's looked good and not good. But I really don't know what to say. It's just strange. How like a kiss,
who you kiss.
Like how I'm not sure how many people should be kissing their teammates on the forehead, especially in a playful way. But it's
or watch who you're with.
From what I know,
in a playful way.
From what I know, he has not been the best teammate.
Yeah.
From what I've read, he hasn't been the best teammate. So I think this was kind of. Apparently, he hasn't been handling his rehab really well, and this is just kind of the final straw for the Raiders and say, okay, we're done.
We're done with the immature.
And I think the way the Pat McAfee show described it was that he's one of those guys that you like him if he's on your team, and obviously not in this situation, but you hated playing against him, and just the sense of stuff after the whistle and little things like that. So he's probably going to have to change the way he acts around his teammates and stuff like that. But definitely not the best news surrounding the Raiders is they're trying to kind of make that they're way back on up.
In Cleveland, there's no timetable for Browns quarterback Kenny Pickett, who injured his hamstring in practice on Saturday. In the meantime, Joe Flacco will get the majority of the first-team reps. Head coach Kevin Stefanski says he doesn't have a timeline. He said all the quarterbacks were going to see an uptick in the reps, but kind of looks like Pickett's going to be the guy early on. Whenever he comes back from injury, he still will be the guy. So a lot of quarterbacks, someone's eventually going to get left out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think they already have way too many on the roster coming into the year. I mean, I think Joe Flacco will probably be the starting quarterback week 1 at least, just because, I feel like people don't, they just see somebody get hurt before the season and they're like, okay, they'll be back week 1, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Well, you got to realize who's been taking the snaps since then. So, Flacco's going to be 40, going on 41 this next season. So, he's getting up there in age, so obviously I think Kenny Pickett is probably, as of now, the future for the Cleveland Browns. But you watch out because they still have Dylan Gabriel, still got Shedeur Sanders, as in that QB room. So, things are probably looking to shake up in Cleveland, especially just because of the injury of Pickett, because I think he was probably their guy that everybody had saw was their QB1 heading into camp, and with him going down, it definitely puts a bit of a damper on their training camp.
When's the last time that we were able to say that the Cleveland Browns actually have a good problem in the quarterback room, meaning that you actually have a boatload of talent in that room? Yes, I do agree. I think Joe Flacco is going to be QB1 for at least maybe the first few, or whenever Pickett gets back. We don't know the exact timeline, but I feel like if you had to have someone kind of right the ship early on in the season, I feel like Joe Flacco would be the guy to do it. I still feel like he's still a decent enough quarterback that he can get you, maybe a couple wins depending on how your defense plays, obviously. But I feel like he's at least a good option to start the season off. But again, going back, when's the last time that we're able to say that Cleveland's had a loaded quarterback room?
Yeah, it's tough to say because I was going to say the last time they had like a good quarterback was going to be Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Obviously. And some people have their opinions on him, but he got them to the playoffs and won a playoff game.
He's been great in Tampa.
But, I mean, listen, we saw what Flacco 4-1 with Cleveland in 2023. I think that's a spot where he can excel and maybe try to set them on a good path early in the season, because I feel like people don't realize how important those first 3 or 4 weeks of the season are, because they set the tone, they set the table. And there's a lot of Steelers seasons that would have been a lot worse if they didn't win those first couple of games. So if Cleveland's going to try to bounce back, I think Flacco in the early goings might be the way to do it.
Here's a question: what happens if Joe Flacco actually is like the old Joe Flacco? If he has like a resurgence for like his last year or whatever, when you get to the point to where Kenny Pickett is healthy and Flacco has either led you to an undefeated season so far, or you only have like a loss and he's doing fantastic, what do you do?
I think keep Flacco in there. I mean, I would keep Kenny Pickett because we all know Deshaun Watson, he's out the door. And then you're going to have to basically pick and choose between which, rookie quarterback. Is it going to be Gabriel or is it going to be Shedeur? And try to find a fitting trade to get one of those moved on, because, I mean, obviously you're not going to cut them because you want to get value for a young quarterback like that.
That actually might – you make a good point where if they'll probably have to remove somebody because they have too many there to begin with. But that could be Cleveland's best case scenario, where Joe Flacco is having a heck of a season so far. Keep him as QB1. And now you have talent that you're able to trade off for somebody else, because Flacco retires at the end of the year, you have to move on from him. You still have a good group of guys.
And I think that's, having him with those two rookies is going to do wonders for them going forward, just because, I mean, Joe Flacco has been a pretty good quarterback in his NFL career, won a Super Bowl, and was pretty much the only guy on those Baltimore Ravens teams over the 9 or 10 years he was on there that didn't have any controversies.
Yep.
He was just playing football. Yep. And, I think that's a great mentor, because you look at some of the best quarterbacks, that you would look at as who would be a veteran mentor, like a Matt Ryan, guys like that didn't have a lot of controversies in their career, and, having to, deal with Shedeur Sanders may be a bit of a bit too much to ask for, but I think it could be a positive for both Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel moving forward.
And I think it's just one of those things, like not only in the NFL, but you look at the MLB and you look at the NBA, the guys that are older and are up there but are still playing for these certain teams when they could retire means that they're good veteran mentors.
Yep.
I mean, we looked at guys like Haslam. For the Miami Heat, he didn't go nowhere, but he stayed in Miami. But as old as he was a good enough mentor and good enough,
sat at the end of the bench, made the veteran minimum, and just got to hang out with the Heat. And
teams need that.
Exactly.
Over in college football, University of Colorado head coach Deion Sanders announced Monday that he has undergone surgery to remove his bladder after doctors discovered a tumor there. Since the surgery, there are no traces of cancer. He will continue coach this season. He's been very kind of largely non-existent after being so polarizing due to his health issues. He declined any questions about it during Big 12 Media Days, but came out and said this today. So he will be back, and we hope the best for him. But I will say it did feel pretty good not to hear from the guy for a while for a team that was just really not worth talking about.
Well, heading into this, there was he had announced, I don't remember, sometime this weekend that, hey, we were going to have a press conference on Monday. And then you see stuff that comes out yesterday and Saturday that he had to make a will. And you're like, oh, no. What's going on? What's going on here? Because obviously we know the issues he's had with his foot. And we didn't know what to expect from this. And then he sits down with, I watched the first half of the press conference. He sat down with two women from the University of Colorado medical staff and pretty much sat down, and they was getting tests done on his foot, and then I think it was a urine test or something that had come back and had some cause for concern, and it was a very aggressive bladder tumor, but allegedly got it removed and says he's cured, but definitely a scary moment, because sometimes I feel like as sports fan, we kind of look at coaches as immortal, so to speak. My mind goes back to when Mike Leach passed. That just kind of how it came out of nowhere. So it's good to see Deion back, and hopefully he'll be healthy for the season coming up for Colorado. Because whether you like him or not, he's entertaining for college football.
Yeah, he's entertaining, and honestly, I think college football needs him, because that brings a lot of focus, and a lot of people who might not be typical football fans get a little more interested. But first thing I will say, I think this, my first job in the TV field was in Denver, was in Cheyenne, but I made trips down to Denver constantly, and I got to know that the University of Colorado in Boulder there has a really good medical kind of program, if you will. I think that they even got a hospital there in Boulder, but very good team over there, so he's definitely well taken care of. But holy cow, coming out of left field and just thinking, I mean, immediately, it's not just a cancer, it's bladder cancer, and that usually ends up being some of the worst ones you can get. And it sounds like it's good that it seemed like they caught it very early. They're able to remove it, and hopefully he doesn't have to deal with that any longer. But thoughts and prayers to him and his family for that recovery. But knowing how the medical stuff is over there, especially in Denver itself, great doctors over there, great group of folks, and so he's well taken care of. But again, holy cow, coming out of left field today.
And he said before the press conference that the only person that knew this were obviously his medical team and his wife. He hadn't even told his kids about this yet. So and that's a scary thing when you have something as life threatening as cancer, and you don't want to tell your family because you kind of want, or your kids, because you kind of want to handle this on your own. It's just like you're saying, Taylor, way out of left field, because you're sitting there and I'm expecting him to say, 2026 will be my last, or 2025 will be my last season with the Colorado Buffaloes, and he says, I've been dealing with urologists, and I had a pretty serious bladder tumor. You're like, whoa, just really unexpected.
Speaking of college football, coming up next, we'll close out the show playing Name That Schedule, and that'll be when we return.
Working with Gina was great because she really knows this area. I gave her the specifications of what I was looking for, and she took me right to my forever home.
I met Gina when she sold my son's home within 5 days after it hit the market. With my home, from the day the sign hit the yard to the day we signed the papers, Gina was there every step of the way. Her involvement in the sale of my home was the best decision that I made.
We never felt like Gina was pushing us to make a deal with a buyer. She knew what we wanted, and she worked diligently to get us the best offer for our properties.
Working hard for my clients to make their dreams come true. Let me work for you.
LUS is committed to our customers, from providing and maintaining energy-efficient utility services to friendly, helpful customer service. LUS is there. At LUS, we're always challenging everything we know, every day. We strive to improve efficiency and reliability while focusing on our responsibility to our customers and the community. It's our promise to provide dependable service to our customers every time. Because we don't just work in Lawrence County, we live here too.
Here at Fields & Brown Barbershop, legacy means a lot. We're trying to fill big shoes left by my two uncles and my grandfather, where every haircut came with conversation and every customer left a little taller than when they walked in. The barbershop is about pride. It's about knowing your barber knows your name and your story. Come see us at Fields & Brown Barbershop, where tradition never goes out of style. 3 generations, 1 legacy, your barbershop.
Arts, crafts, stationery, journals, books, educational toys, wrapping paper, devotionals, greeting cards, and much more can all be found at Paper & Thread in downtown Lawrenceburg. Shop local to find the perfect gift or have a custom gift basket made for just the right occasion. Paper & Thread has a party room now available for birthdays, classes, and so much more. We could go on and on about all the neat things you'll find at Paper & Thread, but you just need to hop in your car and head down there. 106 North Military Avenue in Lawrenceburg is where you'll find them and discover what makes Paper & Thread awesome. That's Paper & Thread in downtown Lawrenceburg, 106 North Military Avenue, just north of the square.
There's no job too big or too small for Gonzalez Lawn and Landscapes. Owner Chris Gonzalez works hard to make your commercial or residential properties one of the neighbors will envy. You won't find a lower price anywhere else, and that's a guarantee. We offer mowing, landscape removal, small construction jobs, and more. Our team is licensed and insured to ensure the best work for Lawrence County and surrounding areas. Your satisfaction is our goal. We won't leave until you're happy. Call today to set up a free quote.
Going the distance for local sports. This is X Sports Today.
And welcome back to X Sports Today. AJ Good with Taylor Plott, Hayden Burks, and Michael Marks. Guys, we started this Friday. We're going to do it until I run out of teams. So we're going to pick every major conference, one team, and then we're going to pick a group of 5. It is called Name That Schedule. So I'm going to hold this close to the
It was
vest.
really fun Friday. I'll just say that.
These guys got 4 out of 5, but our local group of 5 team, MTSU, couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it. All right. So it's our first group of 5 team. Again, I'm going to give you home and away or neutral. I'm not going to tell you where it is.
Okay.
Or even I won't even I didn't even give week 1, week 2.
I think you read them in order, but
and
you
I
didn't.
Gave you off weeks.
Yeah.
You know. Okay.
So you're basically just naming who they're playing.
Yeah.
And okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna read the schedule. We gotta guess the team.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So week 1, neutral site versus Virginia Tech. At home versus South Carolina State. At home versus Vanderbilt. At Missouri. Home versus Kentucky. Week off. at LSU, home versus Oklahoma, home versus Alabama, at Ole Miss, week off at Texas A&M, home versus Coastal Carolina, home versus Clemson.
Okay.
South Carolina.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be
the Virginia Tech
Yep.
week one.
Virginia Tech, yeah.
The more I was like, well, Clemson at the end of the season.
That's what got me. It's like I thought Virginia Tech that they played them, but once he said the Clemson, I was okay.
Yep.
Okay. Home versus TCU, at Charlotte, home versus Richmond, at UCF, week off, home versus Clemson, week off, at Cal, home versus Virginia, at Syracuse, home versus Stanford, at Wake Forest, home versus Duke, at North Carolina State.
That's going to be UNC.
UNC, yeah.
Oh.
Yep. NC State's always their last game.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Okay. Home versus Arizona. Excuse me. Home versus Northern Arizona. My bad. Read that wrong. At Mississippi State. Home versus Texas State. At Baylor. Home versus TCU. At Utah. Home versus Texas Tech. Home versus Houston. At Iowa State. Off. Home versus West Virginia. At Colorado. Home versus Arizona.
Arizona State.
Yep. Mississippi State is the one I got it.
Okay. Here we go. Home versus Florida Atlantic, home versus Northern Illinois, home versus Townsend, at Wisconsin, week off, home versus Washington, home versus Nebraska, at UCLA, week off, home versus Indiana, at Rutgers, at Illinois, home versus Michigan, home versus Michigan State.
That's Michigan and Michigan State.
Is it Penn State?
Nope.
It's not Penn State.
So I got
Ohio State.
I got two guesses. Wisconsin?
No, Wisconsin
Oregon.
was in there.
No.
No.
Wisconsin was last Friday.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh man.
Go through their conference schedule.
Okay. At Wisconsin, week off. Home versus Washington and Nebraska. At UCLA, week off. Home versus Indiana. At Rutgers. At Illinois. Home versus Michigan. And at Michigan State in a neutral site game.
Maryland?
Actually playing it in Detroit.
Detroit, okay. So
because I was like, that doesn't make sense.
Minnesota?
The way it read off.
In Detroit.
Minnesota?
No.
See, I'm trying to mentally think of Illinois' schedule last year and who they played on the road.
Is it Northwestern?
No.
Because they went
Maryland?
on the...
What's that?
Maryland?
Yep.
Really?
Wow.
That's what I was thinking. Michigan State and
I don't remember them
Michigan
playing
State.
Maryland
That's
last year.
Is that a rivalry?
Somewhat. It's not a big
The Big
rivalry.
Ten doesn't do a bunch of rivalries the last week like the SEC does.
Yeah.
It's pretty
They
much
do
Michigan,
some,
Ohio
but
State.
They're trying to give,
Yeah.
they're trying to manufacture
Okay.
which, it's kind of hard to
Michigan and
publish.
Maryland is somewhat
Yeah.
kind of turned into some sort of
Okay.
rivalry.
At times it was Penn State and Maryland because of proximity.
Yeah.
Rutgers and Maryland's never going to be a thing, even with the proximity. I know Wisconsin and Minnesota are at the end of the year. That's a big rivalry.
Yeah.
And I believe Nebraska and Iowa are at the end of the year.
They're usually,
Okay, that's what threw me off is the Maryland-Illinois game. So the Big Ten is not doing what the SEC is doing with conference schedules because conference schedules for the SEC is the same as last year's but flipped.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to think of Illinois' schedule last year and they didn't play Maryland, so that was what threw me off.
I just know Maryland and Michigan State in basketball are like big time.
That is, yes, in football or basketball, yeah.
All right, so we are going to the group of 5.
All right.
All right, you guys didn't get it last week. You're 8 for 8 in your Power 5, but it's time to go to the group of 5. Home versus Mississippi State, home versus Jackson State, home versus Appalachian State, at Louisiana Tech, home versus Jacksonville State, week off, at Georgia Southern, at Louisiana, home versus Louisiana Monroe, week off, at Arkansas State, home versus Texas State, at South Alabama, home versus Troy.
All right, so this is Sun Belt. This may be a Conference USA team. Is it Kennesaw State?
No.
Okay.
Let me ask this: Is it a team that has either been in the Sun Belt for a while, or at least has been in FBS for a while? Or is this one of those kind of new additions?
They've been in FBS for a while.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that took my next guess because my next guess was going to be like North Georgia or West Georgia. Or...
No, well, West Georgia's a new, but they're in UAB.
Did they play an SEC team last year?
Because the first game is at Mississippi State.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking of who Mississippi State played last year.
Let's see.
And we'll be talking about their football schedule or their last football season on our show coming up, and it was
They did
rough.
play an SEC team last year.
Oh no.
Okay, so it had to been week
So
one.
that narrows it down to like 40 teams or 40 games.
It definitely it must have been a week 1 or week 2 game.
Go through the conference games again.
Home versus Appalachian State. Then they've got 2 non-con games, week off. At Georgia Southern, at Louisiana, home versus Louisiana Monroe, week off. At Arkansas State, home versus Texas State. Out South Alabama, home versus Troy.
Is New Mexico State in the Sun Belt? Is that them? Okay.
They're CUSA.
They're okay.
Is James Madison Sunbelt?
They are, but it's
not James Madison.
That's a
I
good
asked
guess.
him. I don't know. I'm just going to spit it out. Is Old Dominion?
They are Sunbelt, but this is
not. Oh, I didn't think they were in Sunbelt.
Who are we missing?
SEC.
Because he mentioned South Alabama.
Yeah.
He mentioned Jacksonville State.
And Troy.
So it's none of
Jacksonville State is not a conference game.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not a conference game. Okay. Well, still, that removes any Alabama State schools they could
unless
potentially
it's
that.
UAB. But they're not. Is it UAB?
UAB's conference
UAB.
USA.
Okay.
Well, no, they're American.
They're American.
American
Yeah,
Conference,
They
yeah.
are in the American, yeah. So out of Georgia, the only colleges in Georgia, you got Georgia State, Georgia Southern, Kennesaw State. I don't think it'd be any of them.
Nope, it's not any of them.
I feel like there's not any small schools in Mississippi except Southern Miss.
Ding.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. They're Sun Belt now, aren't they?
Yep.
I completely
They
forgot
were
about
Conference
that.
USA for a long
so
time.
long.
Yep.
For
I
so
thought,
long.
I thought you were going to pick up on I didn't mention they were newer Sunbelt.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing I was thinking of was one.
I just started going through those
additions?
states because
Yeah.
all those teams you mentioned were in the South.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, so I was just started going through the states and the
Yeah.
schools. And there's not a small school in Mississippi except Southern Miss.
But the thing is, I completely forgot that they are not in Conference USA anymore.
Yeah.
I forgot that they flipped.
I just whenever you said
because
SEC,
the Sun Belt in baseball is awesome.
Yes.
Whenever he said SEC, I'm thinking, okay, there's one team that instantly pops up in my head, but I couldn't remember. That's why I asked
Southern,
you if it was Old
They were
Dominion.
week 1 at Kentucky last year.
Who was
yeah.
Southern Miss. That's right. Yeah, because
But their-
Old Dominion played South Carolina.
Their
week
home
1,
schedule's
yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
All the local-ish teams that come there. I've been to Southern Miss. There's no easy way to get there.
Nope.
Yeah, Hattiesburg is really out in the
We
middle of
had
nowhere.
to fly into Gulf Point and drive like an hour and a half to get to Hattiesburg. Now, the barbecue down there, that's elite.
It's good.
It's some really good stuff
Yeah.
in Hattiesburg. So this is the Sun Belt right now. Appalachian State, Arkansas State, Coastal Carolina, James Madison, Georgia Southern, Georgia State, Louisiana, Louisiana Monroe, Marshall, Old Dominion, South Alabama, Southern Miss, and Troy.
That's a tough
That's
conference.
a good conference.
That's a really good
Yeah.
mid-major conference because that's the thing is like some of those schools are really good at baseball. Some of those schools have pretty good football programs like James Madison, Appalachian State.
Yep. Basketball too.
Some of them have good basketball. I mean, that's a really well-rounded mid-major conference.
This is Conference USA: Delaware, FIU, Jacksonville State, Kennesaw, Liberty, Louisiana Tech, who's trying to get back into the Sun or trying to get into the Sun Belt.
Yeah.
Western Kentucky, UTEP, Sam Houston State, New Mexico State, Missouri State, and MTSU.
That's not a terrible conference either.
Yeah.
It's definitely much weaker than the Sun Belt, but I mean,
Still good.
It's still a pretty good conference.
Think of this. You go back several years. It was basically flipped with that idea where the Sun Belt's just and it was Conference USA, and now it's completely different.
Well, they took those teams. They took Old Dominion. They took Marshall. They took Southern Miss. And who else did they take when they went there? Well, Georgia Southern's kind of.
I think they're a new.
They've always kind of been Sun.
Yeah.
They're newer, but I
Yeah.
believe they had always been Sun Belt. Texas State is actually a newer.
Yes.
Yeah, because they were
to that
in the Mountain West or whatever.
Yeah, and James.
Oh,
Madison,
they were a FCS.
James Madison was FCS.
Yep, they just came up.
Coastal Carolina was FCS for a while. So yeah, we've got so was South Alabama. This is a lot of newer teams, but this is a pretty decent league. All things considered. Well, guys, that was fun. So you're 8 for 8 in the Power 5, and
Little struggle today, but
I need to put a shot clock on you guys on the group of 5. Like you get like 5 minutes to figure this out. I basically go into because you guys were like, I give up on MTSU, but I'll give
I never
you
would have
2.
thought it was him.
I give up.
MTSU.
All right, guys, that does it for X Sports today. Tomorrow, Trivia Tuesday. We're also going to be breaking out some more guess the schedules. Also talking about all the news all around the world of sports. So for Taylor Plott, Hayden Burks, Michael Marks, I'm AJ Good. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 1:30.
Going the distance for local sports. This is X Sports Today.